It's a little past 12. You can see the shadow.
It's perhaps the oldest known means of telling time.
This is the side that you look at for winter, and then you go on this side to look at it for summer.
I proposed to my wife here 30 years ago, last October.
For many Denverites, this sundial at Cramner Park is timeless.
I was looking for a place where it would be here in 30, 40 years. You know, restaurants come and go. I saw the sundial, I think, well, this will be here forever.
The sundial is the centerpiece of Cramner Park, named for George Cramner, a successful Denver businessman.
But after successfully managing Ben Stapleton's mayoral campaign, he was named the Director of Parks and Improvement for the city of Denver. What Mr. Cramner knew that no one else knew was that the city had bought land here for a future park. So he put his house on the highest and the highest lot with the most visible view of the mountains,
giving him a view that would inspire the park, which would eventually bear his name.
This park, Mountain View Park, as it was originally known, was constructed in the 30s. It's one of the wonderful places that Denver has that has this incredible view of the mountains and the mosaic telling you which peak that you're looking at. In 1941, a sundial was added based on a Chinese sundial that Mr. Cramner had seen in Monterey, California.
That sundial was later destroyed by an unusual act of vandalism.
It lasted until 1965, when the sundial was blown up by dynamite.
Even then, the sundial was so endeared to the community that they immediately rallied to replace it.
Pieces of the stone are breaking off here.
Today, the damage to the sundial and plaza is perhaps not as sensational, but no less detrimental.
This was originally built on what we'll call rubble. It's not a firm foundation. So over the years, the plaza has sunk. They've tried patchwork fixes over the years, but it just fixes it temporarily because it's still sinking.
And decades of just everyday use have taken their toll.
Some of it's weather and some of it's the kids climb on this too, and it just gets a lot of wear and tear.
There's not a single kid in the neighborhood who grew up here that hasn't summited the sundial.
People love this park. It has memories for people. It tugs at their heartstrings.
And I played football here for 5, 6 straight years.
People like John DeCue, who practically grew up playing here and still lives right across the street.
The park is in great shape, but we could get some money now to rebuild the sundial, which is a treasure for Denver.
The city has started a campaign to rebuild the park, offering about 1/3 of the total cost.
And it'll leave a gap here.
It's up to community groups to raise the rest.
This park is where my daughters had their first soccer games, their first lacrosse games, learned to fly a kite. A lot of people have ties to this park, and I'm hoping that that will translate into a generous donation.
It's a throwback to the same sentiment that replaced the sundial nearly 50 years ago.
It's not just the residents of this neighborhood that will benefit by preserving the park and the sundial, but citizens throughout the city of Denver use this park, and we'd like to see that preserved.
So residents like John Stenninger can continue to come back to that familiar, timeless site.
I'm really excited about the prospect of having this repaired and brought back to mint condition.